Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros MLB. This is Leading Off Live, brought to you by PrizePicks. And, of course, it's me, Joey P. Joe Pizzapia. That, of course, is the Welsh. And all the Peanuts and the Cracker Jacks already in the chat. I see some people. Look at this. Bill King, shout out to Bill. First time here live. There's a first time for everything, Bill. And we're happy that you're here joining us. So it's a happy, fun Friday for most of us. Maybe not so much our friends Chris Tognacci and our friend Chris Welsh. Chris says here, I am a Jeffery Springs owner, and I was told that this is a safe space. Welsh, it was good and bad yesterday. It was a mixed bag. Very good if you listened to the show yesterday and you had an investment in Joe Ryan against the Yankees, whether it was PrizePicks, betting, DFS, I don't care what it was. If you didn't make money yesterday on the Twins against the Yankees, I feel sorry for you because you missed the show. But it came at a cost, and that is the Jeffery Springs injury. So we have the Tampa Bay Rays leading the headlines here, setting a new standard for hot streaks to open the season, but Jeffery Springs is going to be out for a while. Welsh, let's start there, because let's just get it over with, and let's talk about it.
Yeah. Who cares about your Twins bullcrap, Joe? Who cares when the world is crumbling under us? All is lost. I'm a little dead inside. Jeffery Springs, I was watching that start. I was very timid yesterday about like the bets I wanted to jump in, but it was 5.5. He looked so good. He was just painting corners. I swear to you, about 5 to 7 minutes before the injury, I was sitting here and you came into the back of my mind. And I remembered you saying this where you said, hey, Jeffery Springs, plus 1,800 on the Cy Young. And I was like, Joe, you're so silly. Okay, maybe. I don't know. I don't do that market a whole lot. And then I was watching him and I went, I'm going to bet this. I think I'm going to bet this. Look at how good he looks. Look at how good he looks right now. And then pain, nothing but pain. He has a ulnar inflammation, which I was going back and forth with people on Twitter. Looks like no matter what, it's an IL stent. It looks like the timetable is somewhere in the vicinity of like 4 to 8 weeks. I've seen people say 4, 6, 8, somewhere in there. I think it's going to be a month regardless. And we are going to lose one of the best pitchers in baseball, and all is stupid.
So you and Wonky were in the same boat there, it looks like. It is stupid. It sucks. The good news is, though, it does open up once again the Taj Bradley conversation, right? So we are right back to where we were yesterday, which remember, if I said clearly enough, be aggressive. There will be other injuries. So a guy like Taj Bradley is very reasonable to be aggressive on, because eventually there's going to be an opportunity. I didn't think it was going to be, 4 or 5 hours later after having that conversation with you, but alas, it was. So if you're in a daily trans league, hopefully you did pick him up there. And if in a weekly trans league now, this is going to be more complicated, because the transactions, when you go put them in on Sunday night, everybody's going to know, and the bidding's going to go up even more. And I think you go ahead and you make that wager and you put it in there and you hope that he makes 12 to 15 starts for the Rays this year. And if he does, that's a good return. And if you got any sort of keeper situation, you go ahead and you put that investment in as well. Let's get to some more headlines here. I want to talk more about the Twins pummeling the Yankees, because it was so good. It was so, watching that first inning, came downstairs after dinner, put the game on. We were going to watch Survivor on the DVR, my kids and I. And I said, let's watch a little of the Yankee game first. I just want to see my boy Julien hit. And then they just kept hitting and hitting. And next thing you know, they basically batted around that inning. It was amazing. It was stunning. It was so much fun.
Joe, Edward Julien got his first 2 career hits in the same inning. In the same
career
inning.
Home run in Yankee Stadium. Dude, amazing stuff.
I got stoked when I thought it was really telling that they led him off. We've seen a couple. The Yankees did that with Anthony Volpe. They led him off, which I thought was okay. There you go. He hits a home run and just like zoned out. And I came back to the game and I was like, wait a minute. The Yankees haven't even had an at bat yet, and they're already going through. It felt like it was like 40 minutes long. It was wild what they did. Johnny Brito out, brutal. But Edward Julien looked really good, and it has definitely led to the conversation of like, is Edward Julien going to be able to stick around a little bit longer now? And I think it's on the table. I'm still cautious about it. Alex Kirilloff hit a homer in rehab. Jorge Polanco rehabbing with him. Both of these guys are coming back. He's flexible as far as positions he can play, and I think we're in a stage right now of prospects in baseball where it used to be, it didn't matter how a guy would perform, they're gone. It didn't matter. I don't think we're in that anymore. I think a guy can play his way where a team just can't throw him back necessarily. And I think that's on the table for Edward Julien, but he's just still not guaranteed anything. But boy, if that dude's going to be leading off, it's kind of a game changer of his value.
Yeah, I'm making the rounds here on the Twitter machine, and I'm getting a lot of questions about Vaughn Grissom, who Arcia went on the IL. We'll talk about. Might as well talk about it here at the top because this
Sure.
is, I think, what everybody wants to talk about. Because Vaughn Grissom's going to get called up because Arcia. I put him on the waiver pickup, and he got hurt immediately after. So great. That's always fun when those videos come out, like 12 hours after you record them, and something like that happens. But I was also in there picking up Edouard Julien as well. And so it's the yin and yang. There's always good and bad. It's baseball. Things happen fast. If you don't slow down once in a while, you might miss it. But Vaughn Grissom, Edouard Julien, those two guys, those prospects, I'm going to make the case for Julien over Grissom, and here's why. The Arcia extension, I don't know why the Braves would throw money at Arcia if they really had a lot of confidence in Grissom. That scares me. I also think the Twins need a leadoff hitter. And a guy with the on-base skills of Julien, I think, is a perfect fit. Because if you're looking at this lineup, Buxton's not a leadoff hitter. We all know that in terms of OBP. Who are you going to throw up there? Nick Gordon, he doesn't get on base enough. I don't care if he's got speed. I really don't care. Carlos Correa, you really don't want him hitting in the leadoff spot. I don't think that's where you want him to go. Polanco's not a leadoff hitter. Kirilloff is not. So to me, I think the Braves see potential downside when they look at Grissom. They see potential defensive liability. They see a financial investment they made in Arcia and wanting to get something out of that. Whereas with the Twins, I kind of feel like they see the upside with Julien and they think that this guy can really help us win now. And things are going pretty well for the Twinkies. What do you think about that take between those two players? I think they're both worth adding, but if I could only add one, Julien would be the guy over Grissom for me because I think the Twins need him more than the Braves need Grissom.
So I kind of agree that they're both like really close. I would go with Grissom right now, but I'm not sold really either way. Like I was worried about that extension for RC as well, because they spent the entire offseason with Grissom working at shortstop, Ron Washington and him. And for them to, have him in the majors, work all offseason, and then just not essentially have Braden Shoemake be a possibility, I think it was telling us something. Now, he's going to be thrown into the mix for that now. He's going to play this position. And if he hits, which he was hitting in AAA, he had more walks and strikeouts, doing a little bit of everything. If he continues that, I don't see how they're going to get him out of the lineup, which might move him around, which they've toyed with at some points playing the outfield. I feel like the path right now is easier for Grissom than it is Julien, because I look at the lineup there. So when Kirilloff comes back, he takes over for Solano at first. When Polanco comes back, he takes over second. Where does Julien play? He could be an outfielder, but it would be at the expense of Nick Gordon or Michael Taylor, who just had a couple bombs.
See, I think Gordon is the odd man out.
You think? I mean, they're both lefties. I don't. I think this team is so committed to him because, like Julien, he can play outfield and he can play second base. I just don't know where it is. Again, if Julien just hits, how are they going to justify taking him off that lineup? Maybe he's a platoon guy with, I don't know, Michael Taylor in the outfield or something, but he can't platoon with Nick Gordon because they're both lefties. So I just think
I look at Nick Gordon, Welsh. I see a guy with very little power. Okay. 9 home runs last year. I see him with a 316 OBP. Like, I'm just not excited about Nick Gordon. Like, if I'm the Twins anyway. And I get it.
Mike Mayer. Look at Mike Mayer.
Mike Mayer is listen. Mike Mayer is going to have to get put in his place right now. First of all, imagine saying you're going to watch Survivor on the DVR in 2023. Yeah, my kids like Survivor. Millions of people watch Survivor. And I was glad that Jam Jam didn't go home. I like Jam Jam. He's fun. He's good television. So Jam Jam did not go home.
And look, he's telling you what to do, Joe. See, I'm the one that always freaks out. Now, look, you go at Mike. He's telling you what to do, Joe. He wants you to put the other comment on the screen.
What's the other comment?
The bottom one. The very, very bottom.
Buxton one?
Yeah, look at that. He's telling you what to do, Joe.
Byron Buxton will be hurt by then, and there'll be plenty of room for Julien. He's not wrong. Show me the lie. I'm just saying. Yeah,
but
just
saying. Told you what to do.
Also, DGO says I should go on Survivor. And here's the thing, DG. I would go on Survivor because I think I could win. I think I have the people skills. I certainly have, in terms of the puzzle, athletic skills, all like the physical stuff I could do. I can't do the no eating. The Italian can't do the no eating. People said I should just go on Big Brother instead because that's just inside. That's like the safe space Survivor. Same kind of deal. I've never watched an episode of Big Brother.
Would you be mad? I've never watched an episode of Survivor. I've never watched it.
No, and I understand that. It wasn't a show that I liked when it first came on. I'd gotten into it later in life, and then my kids got into it because I was watching it, and now it's like a thing. We watch it together as a family. Mike Mayer. Who does he know? He's watching Bluey right now.
You're getting more mad at like this. What a weird place we're in. I can't get Joe to get mad that Mike Mayer is trashing Buxton again, is telling him what to do, and he gets mad because he says something about Survivor. What is going on?
Now, by the way,
show?
Donnie C and I, cousin Donnie and I, are going to go and apply for the Amazing Race together because we would be incredibly entertaining on that program. And, you know, he drives stick shift. I can't. So he's going to do all the driving. He drives like a lunatic anyway. I'm, you know, a little bit, you know, cultural, worldly kind of fellow. I think we could do very well between the two of us.
Never watched that either. I don't watch reality shows. That's not my thing.
Typically don't. Those are my two reality show, you know, like, what do they call it? Guilty pleasures. That's what they are. All right, let's get to more.
How about you and me? How about you and me on the Amazing Race too?
You see, you get too mad too quickly.
I get way too mad.
That's your downfall. Next, we're in a challenge. Welsh should start throwing things because he can't figure it out, and he has a meltdown. Next thing you know, we're going home first, and I don't want to go home.
But you know, in a challenge, you want me because if we want to go back, it still hasn't been published. But the great whatever competition
it's
of
the mental
FantasyPros
side of the game I worry about with you, not the physical.
No, it's a
the
good
physical,
point.
You're fine. The mental discipline. By the way. More Ryan Mountcastle yesterday. I hate to do this to everybody, but man, Ryan Mountcastle, Adri Rushman going yard again. The A's stink, Welsh. I mean, they stink bad, and more on the A's later in the show. Continuing on, Rowdy Tellez homered, single to drove in 3 runs on Thursday. The Brewers 10-inning victory over San Diego Padres, which ruined my parlay on the Twins game, but I did make money on the Twins anyway. And the Giants just came across the waiver wire here. Not even the waiver wire, just the regular wire. Logan Webb, a 5-year, $90 million extension here. So the 26-year-old, a 2.96 ERA over 340 innings with the Giants the last few years. So what do you think of this extension for Webb?
I mean, I think this makes sense. They've got to lock up their guys. He's had a kind of rough go early on. I've had him as a trade guy, but man, like I want to see a little bit more. I think he's been carried by the strikeouts in that very first game, but he is still sporting an over 30% K rate. The walk rate is as low as it's ever been. He is a boring ace for a team, but I think this is good for them to lock up. And I still kind of think that Logan Webb might be like a really dirt cheap fantasy pitcher you can get. Not dirt cheap, but I don't know. I feel like people are down enough and he's already boring that you could get like a really good value.
Here's a funny one from Mr. Buster. My friends and I lived together at school, watched Survivor with dinner every single night during lockdown. That's pretty. I guess they went through the canon of Survivors every single day. I think it's great when you do things like that. True story. The very first Survivor that happened when it first came out years and years ago was my senior year of college, and we were all still living in Philadelphia area and in the city. And a bunch of my friends all got together to watch it, and they voted somebody out every single week that they couldn't come back to watch. For whatever reason.
That's really funny. Have you ever had?
There was only like 2 or 3 of them, or whatever it was, watching together. It was the funniest idea ever, and they pulled it off. They committed to it. It's like, I'm gonna vote this person out because they brought bad chips, or this person forgot to bring beer, or whatever it was. Hilarious.
That's actually really good. Here's a side thing. Have you ever had a friend or someone you knew decently well on a reality show? Any reality show?
Oh, yeah. I mean, very first American Idol, I went to school with Justin Guarini. He went to University of the Arts Conservatory. He was a singing major and a vocal major, and I was an acting major there. So, at least one.
Well, here's a good one down the line.
Now he's the Dr. Pepper. He's the sweet one.
Oh, really?
That guy.
There was a guy who used to work with Razzball. It was Tehol. I don't know if you remember him, Tehol Bedek.
Oh, yeah.
And he was on The Bachelor, and he had a full episode dedicated to him with his real name. And it got shared all in our little group.
He made it to The Bachelor?
He made it. He was on, and he was featured on a full-on episode because he's a crazy person.
Yeah.
And he was a crazy person on the show.
Wow. All right, let's get to the injuries. We already talked about Arcia. He's going to miss some time. So Grissom is a media pickup. What are you spending on Grissom?
I think Grissom, you know, I also want to point this out. I've seen a lot of people like discuss how crazy high dollar amounts of fab are early on in the year. People are like, oh, I want you to play in my league. But you know what? Like, this is a time to be aggressive. I tend to spend more of my fab in the first month or so than I am later on, and would also acknowledge that, like, I think NFBC stuff maybe kind of makes this a little bit bigger, but I think Grissom is in that somewhere to 10 to 15 percentile range. If you want to be aggressive, that's the high. I'm prioritizing him. I actually think Taj Bradley of everybody I want a little bit more, but Grissom is a little bit, probably the highest of those rookie hitters. Julian's a little bit behind. Taj is probably the one I'm really jumping in on, but I think all those guys live in the 10 to 20% range if you want to assure yourself you get them.
Here's a fun one from Jefferson23. I think this is a newbie to the chat. Drop Detmers or Whitlock to activate Eloy Jimenez. I'm dropping Whitlock between those guys. Not ready to get rid of Detmers yet. I'd like to not drop either of them because I would assume it's a shallow league. By the way, some other fun things here in the chat. Here's from Tim, who was good in the chat yesterday. Tim Sawyer says, I would love to see Joe come back from Winning Survivor with a Forrest Gump level hair. Yes, it would. I mean, look, it's all going to grow in here. It's all going to grow in here. Not so much up there. A little bit. It's there, but it's like back here a little bit. So, but you can see I'm starting to get tan. This has been 90 degrees here. You see the swarthiness is starting to kick in already on the program.
I forgot. I do watch one reality show. This would be good for you, Joe. Naked and Afraid, where you have to spend 21 days.
I've seen that. I told you. No bugs and no eating. No, that's the only thing.
Show off the physique. They don't blur out the butt. Joe's sitting out there just shaking it a little bit, not eating for 21 days.
It would be good ratings. You know, I'm a pretty man. But speaking of funny hair stuff, one of our listeners sent this to me, which is fantastic. I love you guys. You guys are the best. This is the best group of people. I swear to God. So David Draymond, lead singer of Disturbed, the metal band that everybody thinks that I look like, and I do. He posted this because I guess people send him funny ones. And he had sent it to me and said on the Instagram, he's like, oh my God, I thought this was you for a second. I had to do a double take. I thought it was from your Instagram feed, but here it is. It's him as Simon and Garfunkel. So these are also two potential options for me. The one on the left there.
It looks just like you. The one on the left. The one on the left.
Terrifying. The one on the right looks like
10 years from now, the one from the right is maybe 10 years. It's a little too old for some reason, that one, but the left one definitely looks like
terrifying. Absolutely terrifying.
Joe in his 30s going
Hello, only goes my old friend.
That's a Joe that only goes to dive bars. He only goes to dive bars and places that people like dark lights and see indie bands.
Oh my God, I look like you know what I look like in this? If that was me, I look like I worked at Empire Records or something. I'm pretty sure.
That LeBray thing too is just one of the dumber piercing thing. It's
horrendous. He doesn't have it anymore, but just like regular him right now, if you look on his Instagram, he looks just like, we could be brothers. We should really connect. That's my goal at the end of the show. We connect there. The Reds activated Nick Senzel. Remember when he was a thing? That was fun. From the 10-day IL, and Fernando Tatis Jr. 3 home runs yesterday, 8 ribbies for El Paso. Not to be lost in the shuffle, Brett Beatty has a higher exit velocity on his home run yesterday than Tatis. So just saying, boys and girls, if Brett Beatty's still floating around this is a hot waiver wire week. This might be the hottest waiver wire week that we've had yet, or we might have all season. And
I think Beatty's up. I think Beatty's up in the next week. That's my goal here. Escobar's hitting around 100.
I think it's a 9-game road trip. They got the A's, the Dodgers, and the Giants here. They're doing like that West Coast, Northern California to Southern California swing. I think by the time he gets back, or the Mets, I should say, get back, I think he's back with it.
Yeah, I think it could even be sooner. I don't know how much longer that team can justify the 100 batting average from Escobar.
Well, I'll tell you what, they're going to win a bunch of games against the A's this weekend. So that'll be good no matter what Escobar does or doesn't do. I think they give Escobar another week, and I think you bring him up, at home. I think you do. I think you wait a little bit. All right, let's continue on here. Here's some fun stuff. Javier Baez was benched in the 3rd inning after already being dropped in the lineup for making a base running gaffe. The Mets continued to really dodge bullets here. First, they didn't sign Baez. Then they didn't sign Carlos Correa. It's amazing the bullets that they've dodged here, but Baez continues to be one of the worst free agent signings in recent memory. We called it here on the show. We called him a bust the year he went over there. He had a high ADP. This year, the ADP was even worse. Can you drop Javier Baez in his 100 hitting rear end?
Oh, easy. I actually was just updating my dynasty and prospect stuff over at inthisleague.com, and the dynasty list I was working on, I threw him outside the top 300 at this point. I loved Javier Baez when he came up, but he's a shell of who he was before. And I think in any format you could justify cutting him. Dynasty, keeper, 10 team, 12 team, 16, all of it works.
Yeah. By the way, all this Joe and Snooki stuff here in the chat, because they're talking about me being in Jersey and the Jersey Shore. No, didn't happen. Never going to happen.
Snooki guy?
No. Oh God. Terrifying.
I'm a little bit more I'm a JWoww guy. You're a Snooki guy. I'm a JWoww guy.
I am not a Snooki guy. What are you kidding me? Donnie C will confirm this in terms of quality and quantity. Quality was definitely my, He's going to confirm in the chat. I guarantee you in a second. He was there. He lived it with me. Whereas Donnie was more of the, I would say, quantity guy, but that's not surprising if you've met my cousin. All right, let's get to the next bit of news here. The 3 up and the 3 down. Michael Taylor, 2 home runs from the 9 spot last night. Boy, if you had that, what a fantastic return on investment he was last night on DFS. 4 ribbies for him. Joe Ryan goes to 3-0, 7 innings pitched, 10 Ks, 3 hits. He gave up 1 big hit. It was the Rizzo home run. That was it. He was dealing last night. He looked fantastic. Telling you, Joe Ryan. Question: is Joe Ryan right now a fantasy ace? Boom.
A fantasy ace? No.
Yeah.
No, because
what more does this boy have to do?
But what fantasy ace is implying? What, he's like a top 12, top 20 starting pitcher overall in fantasy? I'm not there yet with him. I think he's a top.
Well, hold on a second. Let's look at the
35.
numbers. 3 starts, 19 innings, 3-0, 2.84 ERA, 0.63 WHIP, 26 strikeouts in 19 innings.
No, it's great numbers. But like,
I just made church lady face at you.
Could it be Joe Ryan?
Cy Young?
I would no, but like, if you're just going to look at the numbers and you're going to say those numbers are ace, okay, maybe, yeah, but the sustainability, I just don't think he's an ace. I think he's a top 30 to top 35 overall pitcher with the upside, if this keeps going, to get into the top 20. But you also got guys like Jesus Luzardo who popped out. Pablo Lopez is pop. Who'd you rather have right now, Pablo Lopez or Joe Ryan?
I think they're close. I would rather have Pablo Lopez, but they are super close. And I think Pablo Lopez by season's end, we're going to look at as a fantasy ace. Here you go. Confirmation from cousin Donnie. There you go. No lies detected. No lies. Continuing on, Brandon Lau, 5th home run of the year, 2 for 4. Again, the Rays just continue to rock it. I mean, they look so good right now. We'll see what the weekend brings. The 3 down, Johnny Brito, rough night for Mr. Brito. 7 earned. He didn't get out of the first inning. He only got 2 outs. This is brutal, Welsh. I mean, it was fun to watch, but it was brutal if you were a Yankee fan. Adam Oler, 2 1/3, 8 hits, 7 earned, 9 ERA for him. The A's are so painfully bad. I mean, at this point, you just continue to troll the A's. Like, there's no, if you want to make some money, troll the A's every single day for 100 whatever games we have left. Just do it. Bailey Falter, his ERA is approaching 5, by the way. He gave up 5 earned runs last night, 8 hits, 4 2/3. He is 0-2 on the season. So with that being said, Welsh, it's time to get to the picking of prizes with PrizePicks, the sponsor of today's show. And don't forget, use the promo code leading up when you sign up for PrizePicks, because if you listened yesterday, he had the Joe Ryan strikeout total over, and he had the Joe Ryan 1.5 earned runs or whatever, 2.5 earned runs under. Guess what? He made a crap ton of money. So 100% deposit back match up to $100. The promo code's leading off. Download the app, go to prizepicks.com, do all those things, go make some cash. Welsh, what do you have for everybody today?
Joe, first thing, put up Hugh Morris's comment. Put up his comment. This is always my favorite thing that happens, and I understand it with podcasters. It's at the very bottom here. When you listen to someone for so long and you create an image of what someone looks like, and it's a stark reality different.
Oh, here it is.
Yeah, look at that.
First time watching live, always pictured Welsh with long hair, possible man bun with glasses.
It's a good look. It's a good look. You know what? I will tell you, I used to have very long hair. I used to have hair that went down.
Yes, I can attest to this. I've seen the picture, I believe.
I probably looked closer to one of those rock stars. I had a labret piercing. I had multiple piercings here.
So he basically said you were like a hipster baseball doofus guy.
Yeah, I think there's other words that you put in there too. Maybe another D word in there. But yeah, I had the long hair and I could do that.
Trying to keep us on the air, but yeah.
No glasses. So thank you, Hugh. Hopefully,
I wonder if Hugh Morris do I look exactly like you pictured? That's what I want to. I wonder what I was pictured as, you know.
Well, let's take a look at the prize picks here.
That is the prize pick. That is the prize winner, right?
The man bun and glasses. A good look. It look better when I'm skinnier, if that happens again. I'm all fantasy score here today. I am dying to smack on one of these. And today I got a couple of my favorite plays so far. Kyle Schwarber score. It was actually 7.5 last night when I wrote it down. It went up 1 notch, but we're okay. We're still going to take it. Kyle Schwarber, Jose Ramirez fantasy score 8.5, and Drew Rasmussen score 27.5. I have this very about going with the Rays because they're so good, and at some point it's going to fall off. I just don't envision Rasmussen being the guy that it's going to fall off for. He has destroyed this fantasy score the last 2. So Schwarber, Ramirez, and Rasmussen, 20 get you 100. Let's cash this PrizePicks.
All right, I'm going with Shohei Ohtani tonight against Boston. Yeah, buddy. There you go. There's your little Jersey Shore thing right there. Total base is over 1.5. Shohei Ohtani, let's stick with him because, again, if you believe in a player, why not just continue to use that player and utilize the fantasy upside? 8.5 is the total for the fantasy points. Let's go over there. And a big night for Pete Alonso. More on the Mets in a second. His hitter fantasy score is 8. So that's my trio tonight. Looking ahead here, okay, I told you, this is it. It's a very clear picture. We've had, what do we have? 14 games now, right? 15 games somewhere, give or take. Here you go. The A's are the worst team I've seen in recent. I mean, they are horrendously bad. So let's go all in on the Mets tonight. Same game parlay on FanDuel. You ready for this? Very easy stuff here. New York Mets on the money line, -1.5, right? So they're going to win by more than a run and a half.
Okay.
Kodai Senga, more than 5 strikeouts. I teased this down a little bit to the 5 number just so I could really lock it in. Pete Alonso to hit a home run and to record a hit, because if I think he's going to hit a home run, I might as well go with the extra one for the hit as well. Duh, it all makes sense. If you put those things together, you get plus 632. Now, I understand when you add more things, you add more variance. This is always what I try to tell people. You can break this down if you want and just go all in. If you're going to go all in on something, go all in on the Senga strikeout total. Because I'm telling you right now, you could even tease that up. I think he could really impress tonight. But if you put these simple things together for Pete Alonso to get a hit, home run, Kodai Senga 5 strikeouts, and the Mets win by a run and a half, to me, this is money in the bank. Also looking at just the 5.5, you can get this on DK for the strikeout number for Senga plus 135. Pete Alonso, you can get him with the over for total bases over at BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks, at plus 125. And Starling Marte, 1.5 total bases. You get him at the plus 115 over at BetMGM. And these are all straight from Betting Pros. Again, you go to bettingpros.com. We want everybody to go to bettingpros.com/leading off. Join our betting group. We're having a lot of fun there. People are starting to join it, which is great. Shout out to those who have. Download the app. That way it's much easier to track your progress. And again, you don't have to bet real money. You're just betting fake units just to play along with us and have some fun and be in the conversation. Because that's what it's about. It's about being in the conversation and having a good time. And that's what this show is about. Welsh, what are you about tonight from betting?
Well, I'm about trying to keep, by the way, my high ROI and winning percentage in that betting group, which has been up there. And I'm all about that today. I locked in a couple things late last night. I have not even dug in for the rest of the slate. So again, I would tell you, go and sign up and you put on notifications if you want to see like what we add and what I might add. Here's what I've got. And I'm kind of in agreement on a little bit of this. I'm going with a moneyline parlay. Mets, Yankees. It's all New York. It's the Big Apple of parlays. Pays plus 129. Mets, Yankees, straight up win. Give me that. I'm also going with a Tampa Bay first 5 to be up by a run. So through the first 5 innings, Tampa is up by at least 1 run with Rasmussen. When I locked it in, it was just about even money, minus 105. This one is similar to my my Kyle Wright one I did the other day where I was so assured that it was going to be under that I bet 2 units. Well, Drew Rasmussen, if his strikeout number is still 4.5, I ate it, the minus 150, and I put 2 units on it to pay because he is definitely a strikeout machine. And then I did a little prop parlay with exactly what you said with Senga. You want some better odds. Maybe you don't like doing that. Go Rasmussen 4.5K over, Senga 5.5K over, and it pays 185. That one I'm even toying around. I might jump back in on that and do another.
Senga's opening schedule here, Welsh, with the Marlins twice and then the A's. Man, like his trade value could be at an all-time high. And I'm not trying to get out of the Kodai Senga business at all. Well,
I am.
Yeah, I know you are. I'm not. I love the guy. And it's not because he's a Met, because God knows I'm the biggest self-loathing Met fan there is. But I just think what a way to start, and it's worth at least kicking the tires. Let's see what the trade value is out there. By the way, did you see that John Heyman tweet about Billy Epler and Shohei Ohtani? People forget Billy Epler was the guy that brought Ohtani in the first place. So there's a relationship. And apparently the brain trust Billy Epler with Steve Cohen. Steve Cohen was at the Baseball World Classic because that guy doesn't miss a trick. And he was been watching all the stuff and all the things. And apparently they are prepared to go after Ohtani hard. What a shock.
What a shock. It's the trade deadline.
I mean, and people said originally, he wouldn't come to the East Coast and that was only West Coast teams. But now that he's in the States, it's not as big of a deal.
Just watch,
kidding.
Man.
You know why? Because he's going to make $500 million. So if someone's going to be giving you $500 million, yeah, you'll move to the East Coast for a couple of years.
if the Angels don't get this, like they're putting out Jose Suarez, who's just stinking it up. If they continue to put out this garbage rotation and they don't start winning games that not only they should win, but maybe they shouldn't, then they're going to have to look at themselves at the deadline and like, really, can you bring back Ohtani? Because the Mets do have a lot of pieces that they could move in like a all for nothing type of Soto type trade, but I still don't think it happens. I think it goes to free agency, but it'll be interesting to watch.
It's kind of fun right now. Here's the leaderboard for the betting. We have Shark Psych is at the top. The Welsh is number 2, and I'm number 3 in the group. So look at that.
What Welsh, is that though? Are you looking at ROI or winning percentage?
It's ROI. So there you go. Because you know me, it's go big or go home.
Click on winning percentage real quick.
I can't because it's a screenshot that Mayor just sent me.
Okay. Well, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
I'm live here on the show. I'm working here. By the way, everyone likes your hat. Uncle Ted Talks wants to know, is it like a new era fitted one? I have one as well. It's blue.
Yeah. It's just a one fit.
You can get it at fantasypros.com/shop, by the way.
Where I got mine
up there. I usually keep it there in the distance, but let's put our hats on. Let's put some hats on here.
Hey, look at Joey hat. Oh, hey, it's Joey hats here.
Hey,
Joey blue hats.
How you doing? I got a blue hat. He's got another color hat. We've all got hats. Wait, hold on. I got to do the DFS segment, so I got to turn it around.
Okay. yeah. It's DFS. Hold on.
It's DFS time, because anybody who talks DFS always has a backwards hat. Yours is fitted. Mine's not. I got this cheap one. Look at you. I'm full-time employee.
You actually look like your hat's a little too big on the top. It's almost like something.
It's ridiculous. Why I don't wear it, and it's because of the snapback here. So it's ridiculous. We are having fun today. This is a fun show.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
All right, let's get to. So I'll do DFS, then I'll take that.
Yeah, so you can take yours off, and it doesn't mess up your hair. But yeah, keep it on for DFS talk.
Thanks. Yo, what's up, everybody? It's Joey P talking DFS. What's happening? All right, let's go. Nestor Cortez tonight, 10.3. You know it's gonna be Kodai Senga. Yankees and Mets. Yankees rebound from an awful night. The Mets pound the Athletics into oblivion. Jeff McNeil. I'm sorry to be so East Coast biased tonight, but look, it's just a fact. Let's just go make some money here. Jeff McNeil's 2.6. Canna is 2.7. Carlos Santana swinging a hot bat for the Pirates. He's going to be low roster percentage, 2.6. Trey Mancini, 2.5, in the middle of that order, too. Let's go to the home run calls for the weekend, and let's take a look at the leaderboard for home runs as well. I'm going to be taking Pete Alonso for the weekend. You can see Prime Time's up to 7. BHB Daddy up at 7 as well.
Get that comment off the board.
I will take the comment off the board in a second.
Okay. I was just saying we can't see the bottom there.
We can't see the bottom.
All right, there we go.
All right, so here we go. So Welsh, I'm taking Alonso for the weekend. Again, trolling the A's. What are you doing here for the weekend?
I like that. Actually, I was really sitting for Alonso for a bit as well. I'm going to go with Kyle Schwarber today with the Reds. I love this matchup. I think I might get 2 on the board today. So I'm going to go with Schwarbs. And as of right now, I'll take him through the weekend. I might change it, and I can go and change it myself. If I just go in to the Discord and I lock in the home run channel, I can change it myself at any time. You guys could do the same if you were on the Fantasy Pros Discord as well.
Yes, go fantasypros.com/chat. Again, free to join. Go to fantasypros.com/premium and upgrade today, or just drop a comment below in this amazing video, and you might win for free upgrade. There you go. We just gave one away yesterday on the football show. We're giving them away, but don't wait. Get a 1-year premium upgrade right now, fantasypros.com/premium. Now, Welsh, some fun stuff here. Again, the chat is just spectacular today. I mean, high marks for the chat. David says, Joe looks like Bo Bichette. Now, I don't know what, sort of substances you're on here, David, but thank you. I think that's a great compliment. By the way, I watched Kevin Biggio's at bat last night to end the game against Alex Lang. And is there more disappointing child right now of a major league player than Kevin Biggio? I mean, like, his at bat was so poor in that last. I mean, it was just so bad. I watched him, and he got called out on a check swing. It was just brutal, absolutely brutal. But he's sitting there with Vlad and Bo Bichette. There's Kevin Biggio. Was like, hey, Dad, my dad played in the major leagues too. Like, yeah, sure. Kevin.
Well, I think it's tough on that
on
team.
The bench.
The team context is really, really tough. But there's probably a lot more disappointing kids to their baseball fathers in baseball in general. But
Kevin Biggio, he's the worst.
Right. He's the worst.
There you go. By the way, also leaving on a nice note, did you see the Bobby Witt Jr. hitting the foul ball and his father catching it?
It was very cool.
That was a funny moment.
I love Bobby Witt. I love Bobby Witt. I love the whole dynamic of that whole team, that whole family, and really the team too. But yeah, no, that was a great moment.
Yeah. This was a great show today. Y'all are absolutely hilarious. I love it. We've got over 200 people joining us right now. And I agree, Sam. I need the upgrade. I mean, what happened was they sent this to me along early on. And I think this is like, hey, welcome to the thing. But you could see it's too puffy up here. I look like Mario Brothers, which I'm going to see this weekend.
You too.
Hey, it's the Joey P. I want him the hat. Huh?
Yeah, and you can all do that. It's all works. It's not.
I'm
not offensive at all. Yeah, no, you actually do. You look
offensive at all.
You look like your hat. If it had two eyes, it would come alive like it was Mario Odyssey.
I don't know why. Because when I wear hats, it actually looks much better than my bald head. But this one in particular, it's very puffy.
This is a great question.
It almost looks like the big hat that I sent D-Bro.
Yeah, it kind of does. Someone said, who has a bigger head, you or me? What is your fitted head size?
Well, without hair, I think it's 7 1/8. So I'm imagining you have a bigger head than I do.
Oh, yeah, I got a bigger head. I do like 7.5. So yeah,
I have a nice round melon here. It's very good. It's very.
You do kind of like a smaller head. I was just with Joe. We did the video.
I have a big face, which is why I'm good on camera, but a smaller head. So everything's proportioned properly. But Welsh is a giant human being. So not as giant baby as
lips,
Lucas Giolito.
I got like little baby lips, though. That's the only weird thing. I got these like baby lips.
The show is declining quickly. Let's get out of here before it goes off the rails. Go out and make money on the A's this weekend. Please, everyone, for the love of God, I want you to come back here Monday and I want your pockets lined with money. Go to bettingpros.com/leadingoff. Go join the group there and go to PrizePicks. Go make some selections there. Go get some Kodai Senga shares, some Otani shares. Let's go. Let's have some fun. Use that promo code leadingoff when you do. I want everybody to have a great weekend. I'm going to see the Mario Brothers movie on a Sunday with my kids. We got all the candy. We get a popcorn. We go watching a movie. What are you doing this weekend, Welsh? Anything fun with the kiddos?
Taxes. I'm going to do taxes.
I'm going to write. You're a last minute taxes guy. I
know. I'm not. Joe, February. I am not. I'm actually one of the earliest taxes, except if you don't remember, a little bit of job stuff this past year. I'm almost coming up on it. So I've been avoiding it. So I'm going to do taxes. I'm doing a So Rare video, which is going to be coming up here soon on Fantasy Pros. My trade video. I'm literally just going to be working all weekend. I'm going to drink a lot.
Do you do your own taxes? I don't know.
I've done it for almost 10 years. And this is probably the last year that I do my own taxes.
There you go. I'm going to I got a guy.
You told me the number. You told me the number of your guy though, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna keep.
Well, but I have a business with the black book and things. It's more complex because it's an LLC. It's the whole thing, but nobody cares about that. So let's get out of here. Have a wonderful weekend. Go out in the fresh air. Go do some things. Go to the movies. A lot of good movies. I know Air's out there. I want to see that. John Wick's out there. Go do some stuff this weekend. Watch some baseball. Come back Monday. Join us, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Fantasy Pros MLB. That'll do it for us. But the story of the game goes on for the Welsh. I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids.